everybody. This is like Marlene, your Florida vlogger. How's everybody doing? Welcome to today's conversation and podcast. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to do something a little different. I think today I wanted to do a trusting Thursday, something a little different. So today we're going to talk about what we can trust in, because we all know for sure, that there are many things that we can't trust in. There's a lot of things that is not safe. It's people who will bring physical, emotional, financial harm to us. But today we're not focusing on those negative things. We're focusing our mind on the things that we can put our trust in. And why is that for us to understand the things that we can trust in is because it gives us something to reach for. It gives us things that we can still have dreams and hopes and aspirations, peace, happiness. It does so many things for us when we know that we have something that we can depend on, we can rely on. So waiting for some people to come in, but I most definitely wanted to say that to everybody. Know that there are things that we can trust in, and for us to not give up on our dreams in life, not to give up on hope, and most definitely to not give up on ourselves. Okay, don't give up on you. I think that's one of the most important things in this life is that we have to stop giving up on ourselves because of other people, based on, sometimes people will do things to us to really hurt us. And I hear a lot of people say they have trust issues. And while I do understand and get that, we can't allow ourselves to be miserable and angry because we were in situations with people who didn't love themselves. We have to bring our trust back, bring back our trust in ourselves, our faith, our humanity, our respect for ourselves, our dignity, and also giving ourselves the permission to be our best self. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I think he just came back. We never know from one moment to the next how many days we have. We never know how many days, moments. You don't know how many years you're going to live. So, with all of that, because we don't know how much time we have, we need to use the time that we have to be happy. You should use the time that you have to have peace and to love yourself, but it all boils down to trust. Why do I say that? Because there's a lot of things that causes us to lose trust in life. You lose your feeling like good things will never happen for me. We will feel like I can't trust other people. But that's for today's conversation and discussion. Um, it's a Trusting Thursday, and there's a lot of things in this life that we have to look forward to. Things that can make us happy, but we are the ones that have to fix our mind on those things. And to all of my gems, to all of you, I know every single person is carrying something that is heavy, right? We all have problems. We all go through situations and difficulties, but it's what we allow our mind to focus on. If you allow your mind to only focus on negative things, you will be a negative person. Hi, Life with Tisharia. How are you doing? You will be a miserable person if you don't give yourself the permission to see the good things in your life. One thing that I know for sure, as my first point, I know that I have to focus on my blessings. That's something that I can trust in that. I know that I am blessed, but you have to know that for yourself. If you stay in that low vibration, that low frequency, if you allow other people to keep you down and to keep you stuck, you will always feel like things are never going to go right. We are the one that has to set the tone for our lives. Hey, always that girl, how are you doing? We have to set the tone for our life. You have to say, today is going to be a great day. You have to say, today, everything is going to go amazing for me. I'm going to do the best that I can. I believe in myself. See, that confidence, that's one thing that we have to learn to trust on, rely on that. You know, I'm still here. I trust in that every day when I wake up, open my eyes, that I was given another opportunity. I was given another chance, that I'm still here. Our lives are not perfect. We may not have everything that we want and need. There will be some situations. There'll be times where maybe you don't have enough money, or you're struggling with things, or you have physical ailments, or you have some mental things going on. But one thing that you can trust in is that you are alive another day, and that you have a reason and a purpose. Trust in that. It may not be the best day. It may not be the best situations. You may not have the best people around you, but you have yourself. That always encourages me every single day. I may not have everything I want. I may not have everything that I need, but I'm still here. Trust in that. I'm here for a reason. And I want to say that to all of you gems. You each have a purpose. Sometimes we get away from our purpose, our goals in our life, what we're supposed to be doing, because we're sad, brokenhearted, discouraged, depressed, feel very low. Life will do that to you. People will do that to you. People will cause you to lose your faith in humanity. Like, I can't trust anybody. But don't let a few people ruin you. There are good people out there. We just have to learn to make better decisions. And see, that is the part right there. Trust in making good decisions. That's another thing that we need to depend on. I can make good decisions, but it's not just jumping up and listening to the first thing that you hear, or trying to be on the bandwagon with everybody else. We can't trust that. That bandwagon following, listening to people who have a track record of not being mentally stable and functional. Don't trust that. Trust what you know you can depend on. Uh, how does this person usually act? Do they act mature? Are they healed? Do they love themselves, or are they always involved in drama and gossip? See, that's the thing that I had to really open up my eyes and be accountable for that part. If our life isn't happy and at peace, it's probably because you have allowed some toxic people to stay in your life. So you have to trust that too. You know, this is not an easy conversation to have. It's not easy for me to say there's people in my life that I needed to get rid of. That was hard for me when I was going through therapy. But it is what it is. We're usually not our happiest, at peace, um, elevating financially, having the best health of our life, because of the people in our life. If you keep allowing yourself to trust in and believe something that is not good for you, these people are hurting you, disappointing you, backstabbing you, using you, are jealous of you, but you trust that one day they're going to change. That makes no sense, everybody. Really use your mind. If people have a track record of disrespecting you, why do you trust that one day they're going to change? Why do you trust that a person who treats you like crap in your romantic relationship is one day going to suddenly change and love you and show up for you and say the things that they should say, treat you the way that you deserve to be treated? No, you have to trust the energy. And that's why I really wanted to have this conversation on this Trusting Thursday, that we have to really trust the energy that people give you. Now, that's easier said than done, because people will lie to you, convince you But you can't go by the words that are coming out of people's mouth, because people are whole narcissists, mentally unstable, immature, controlling, manipulative, and the list goes on and on. But what can you trust? You can trust the energy that people will give to you. You can trust that all day, every day. Trust the energy that people want to give you. Okay? Not what you want to believe, because that used to be my whole thing for a very long time. I used to think that because people were saying the right words, the kind words, the sweet words, or making promises, but they have already shown they don't keep their promises. They're not supportive. They don't listen to you. So I had to learn to trust who they are showing me that they are. Trust that energy. Trust who they're showing you that they are, not who you want to believe, what you want to believe. And that used to be my thing. Believing in the potential of others, but they don't see the potential in you. See, that's very important to to do that for ourselves, because we save ourselves mental, emotional, financial, spiritual harm, disruption, loss, when we could be so much better if we listen to, when you get those bad feelings, trust it. Trust that bad feeling, like when you say something doesn't feel right before you go and make a decision. You need to trust that. Trust that energy. Trust that gut feeling when something doesn't feel right. That discernment happens for a reason. You discern, you feel things. That's a warning for us to protect us. But will you listen to what you feel? Will you listen when you inconsistencies? They said that last time, but today they're saying something else. The math is not mathing. When it doesn't add up, you have to trust that. And why should we trust it? Because we don't want to keep getting hurt. That's a part of maturity. And that's one of the things that I feel like I went through a lot of things in my life. And it was because I was hard headed. I'm going to keep it real. Okay? I was hard headed. I had a hard heart. I wanted what I wanted to. I didn't want to listen to anybody else. I always thought that I was right and I had the best way, and it's not. We have to stop doing things to hurt ourselves. We have to check our ego. We got to trust that, you know? Don't always try to be right, because sometimes we're not right. But when we get that that feeling inside that something doesn't feel right, that's a warning and a protection for us. And I want to protect my Gems family. I don't mind sharing transparently with you all that I wasn't always the best listener. I didn't listen when people warned me about things. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I didn't want to listen to people. I believed that I knew the right way. My way was the best way. And then you get hurt and you get pained, and then you say you have trust issues, right? But you knew that it wasn't good for you from the beginning. You felt that. You see, and when you could be in a whole romantic relationship and be alone. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know I have been there and done that. You can be in a relationship, but if it's not healthy, if you're not supported, if you're not being poured into, if nobody is showing up for you, the truth is you need to leave them alone. It's not really about what you like or what you want to do and say, I don't want to be alone. So would you rather keep being disrespected, used, and run over? No, we're not doing that, Gems. Always that girl says, Marlene, I had to trust my decisions. I used to second guess myself all the time. That's gold right there. I'm going to pin your comment. Um, Always that girl. That's one of the things that I had to learn as well. I had to learn to listen to myself. Listen, like sometimes you be like, I don't think I should go to that party, or I don't think I should be in this relationship. I don't think that they're a good friend to me. I don't think that this is a good job for me. I don't feel myself growing here. I'm not happy when I'm around them. Or trust that. Trust how you feel. Trust how people make you feel. And trust the words that people say. You know how people will say things in the heat of anger and then try to recant it later. Oh, I didn't mean that. I was just angry. No, they meant to say that to you. So trust what people say when they say it. They'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say." No, they were just waiting for the right opportunity to come to the surface, and it arose, and they said what they wanted to say about you. So trust that. Trust who people are. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. That's what Maya Angelou said, right? But that's a hard thing because our ego and well, they said this. I have to tell you guys that it took me so long going through therapy for me to understand that the words that people say and how you feel is a big disconnect, because people can be telling you what they know you want to hear. They know you want to hear this, and this. So they tell you, they feed you the storyline that they know you want to hear so that they can keep you around, to keep using you, to keep disrespecting you, to know your business. But we have to trust who people are. That's who they are. If they're a manipulator, you have to trust that you are around a manipulator. If a person has mental illness, you have to trust that this person has mental illness. If a person says that they're going to support you and be there for you, and they have never showed up for you, they have never supported you, they have never been there for you, we have to stop waiting for people to show up. You sit and you wait and you say, I'm just going to be patient. I'm just gonna wait for them to be on board. One day they'll do right. Oh, they said they're working on themselves. Why should we have to be waiting on people to give us what we deserve to have right now? You can be wasting your time for years. And I know I did that. Waste my time in a romantic relationship, waste my time with friends, waste my time with relatives, waste your time with people who don't know themselves, people who are angry. But we have to trust ourselves, trust how you feel, trust the way people treat you, and trust when you know when something is not good for you. Trust that. And you have to trust when you know what you want to do. And people can tell you things all day long. We really need to trust and listen to ourselves, okay? When you know that something is good for you, you've thought about it, you've done the legwork, you've researched, you've done, and it's for you. And other people say, "Oh, I tried that and it doesn't work." You can't sit and listen to other people when they try to tell you how your life is. They don't have your story, they're not in your position, they don't know. So we can't let people win, okay? Always that girl says, Marlene, I didn't come in here to be beat up with the truth, but I needed. Oh, always that girl, I'm not trying to beat you up with the truth. I'm just telling the truth. And it's most definitely not easy, everybody. It's not easy for me to come on live and to say, you know what? I was definitely egotistical. You know what, guys? I was very immature, but that is my personal truth. Thank you so much. Always that girl. I really appreciate it. But that's my personal truth, and I'm not embarrassed. I know a lot of people are not at the stage that I am at right now, but I'm transparent because I want to be honest with myself and learn and grow so that I can get bigger and better things for me. And if you don't humble yourself, if you don't listen to the energy, if you just keep whatever and just keep getting backstabbed and used and disrespected and abused, and you feel like I'll just keep taking it, how are you ever going to get better? How are you ever going to be able to receive what is meant to be for you when you're holding on to something toxic? I'm just telling you guys the truth because that's how it came to me, and I was upset. I remember when my therapist told me that I was the problem. And we don't like to hear that. I know I didn't like to hear when my therapist told me that. I was like, I'm not paying you for this. Because I didn't want to hear it. We don't always want to hear the truth, but that is the truth. There are so many times when we are not doing what we need to do. Many of us need to trust that it's time for us to close a door, block certain individuals. Thank you so much for joining my membership. I really appreciate it. We need to block people. You need to block them. Stop going around them, and I have to tell you that when I finally started letting go of the things that was toxic for me, my peace became abundant. See, because I trusted in the process. I stepped on faith. When I really started listening to myself and listening to what my purpose was and stepping into faith and letting go of immaturity, letting go of toxic people. You got to push them aside. You're toxic. You're not helping me. Actually, you're keeping me stuck. I had to trust that. We hold our own self back. And I know a lot of times that we'll get in our own way, but so will the wrong people being in the wrong relationship. Okay? Being in the wrong relationship will mess you up for your life. Having the wrong friends, bad associations, people telling you to do things that is not good for you. They have their own agenda as to why they want you to do this or that, and you'll find yourself incarcerated, mentally ill, broke, trying to help and support other people that don't care about you. That's the part. Oh man, that was like taking a knife and going right into my heart when I realized that people, that's not your friends. That romantic relationship, that person don't care about you. They're just using you for whatever reason, using you for money, for sex, using you for your whatever you can do for them. You take care of them, you show up for them. That's why they're in your life. See, if I'm going to keep it real, I'm going to keep it all the way real. I promised after my therapy was over that I was going to bring people to the water. You can drink. You can get your refreshment, because I was walking around parched my whole life. I wasn't taking care of me. I wasn't showing up for me, but also I was not doing the. We know that we're around a manipulator, but you don't trust that. And you tell yourself, oh, they'll change. Yeah. Always that girl, I'm in the same boat as you. Yep. Yep. I don't like to be wrong. I don't like to be wrong. That was my problem. That's why I said I was in therapy for such a long time. I really had to really humble myself. I really had to be patient with myself. I had to learn compassion. I had to learn to be honest with myself and say, I'm not growing here. I'm not being helped here. Um, I'm being held back. And it's time for me to move on and let go. And it's not that every single person that is in our life is bad for us. It's that some people who are in our life are not growing us because they're not doing anything with their life. And do you know when you hold on to people who are just, they don't want to do anything, being lazy, I don't want to do anything. They don't want to take care of their physical health. They don't want to eat right. They don't want to exercise. They want to be angry all the time. They want to blame other people. There's zero accountability with those people. Woo! Marlene, you're doing too much. You're telling them too much. Woo! But I'm telling the truth to all of you guys. If I'm going to be honest, I promised that I was always going to be all the way honest. When I said I had to work on me, I had to empty all of that and put it, face it. You know how they say, look at yourself in the mirror? You know, a cold, hard look at yourself. Why do you have people around you that are just using you? They're only around for your money or to know your business. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just a messenger. I promise to never hold back the message. I promise to carry it anywhere I go, whether it's on social media or when I do life coaching or when I do motivational speaking. Wherever I am, I'm always going to be transparent and be honest with you guys because we could be so much happier. And I can't tell you guys, like, my health has improved since I have learned to trust, not just trust vaguely. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Not just trust vaguely anybody, but trust the energy, you know? Trust the energy. Like, when you're around people, I don't care who it is. It could be sister, auntie, mama, cousin, your best friend. It could be your husband, your wife. It could be anybody, but their energy is off. Or you know you're around a narcissist. You know you're around a person who lies all the time. You know you're around a person who's controlling. You know you're around a person who's always judgmental, gossiping about other people. That does affect you. You can lie to yourself all you want to because that's what I did. I lied to myself. Oh yeah, that's them. That doesn't affect. Yes, it does. Angry people, manipulative people, people who don't want to take care of themselves. That you get that backdraft. If you have a person who's angry all the time, they're gonna start giving you angry person behavior. Thank you so much. Always that girl. You're preaching the truth. And thank you so much. Hi, Sirius. How are you doing? But I have to be honest with you guys. It took a lot for me to come to this space many years before I wanted to be, open up and be honest about the truth. And and the truth is that we don't always do what we need to do, right? I know that was the case for me. I had to learn that it was time for me to start showing up for myself, getting my butt up, even when I don't want to. The times when you don't want to, this is the truth. The times you don't want to get up and exercise and you make those excuses, I'm tired, guess what? We're always going to be tired. How about that? How about we lower our blood pressure and cholesterol? How about we get a smaller waist and we feel better because when I know for sure when I'm exercising, when I'm moving, walking or jogging or whatever the case may be, I'm able to release and free myself of things that is really on my mind bothering me. I'm able to breathe. I get a new perspective, a new view, being out in nature, seeing things. You guys know I live in Florida, so I see beautiful scenery. And there's a lot of times where I know that I should go for a walk and I don't do it. But there is the time where I put it on my list. I have my optional times where I could just lay back and chill, but there are times where I force myself. And that is the thing that I had to learn to trust. I had to trust in me. I said, I have to do this for me. I get one me. Just like you have people that you love and you push them, you have to be your own cheerleader. And I had to learn that for myself. I had to learn that it's okay to show up for me every day, right? It's okay to show up for you. Show up for you, ladies and gentlemen, whatever that means. Because I don't know each and every one of you, but one thing I know for sure is that we can do better at how we treat ourselves. It could be how you are coping with stress. It's what you allow. Are you setting boundaries with other people and enforcing them? Are you respecting yourself? Are you taking care of yourself physically? Your physical appearance? How about self-care? How about your mental health? You got to trust in, like, I'm not okay. And if I'm not okay, do you give yourself the permission to trust in that and not ignore it and say, I'm going to take a mental health day? Yeah, I am going to show up for myself today. Call off from work, turn off your phone and go take care of you. I had to do that a few weeks ago, you know. I hate to that I can't I can't always be the I can't always be the responsible one for everybody. That was something that I had to learn to trust in too. I can't be responsible for everybody's pain, aggravation, their drama. I have to be responsible for me. I had to learn that it's okay for Marlene to show up for Marlene. And if my mental health was not okay, or I'm going through something, I give myself the permission to say, today, I'm just going to focus on me. And whether that be rest, maybe it's going to the doctor, maybe it's drinking water, eating a healthier diet, getting exercise, calling up a friend, or going on a vacation. But I had to learn to trust that I deserve happiness. I deserve peace. And I had to trust that there are a lot of people who were in my life that were removing that. Isn't that the craziest thing in the entire world? That you need peace desperately, but you're not doing what you need to do in order to get that. And my therapist, and I thank her, Dr. Kathleen, she shifted my entire life. I'm eternally grateful, you know. It's hard to say, but it is my personal truth. I can't speak on your personal truth, but sometimes you have to see the good in yourself. You have to see the love in yourself. You have to see the potential in yourself, because other people around you don't see it. They don't see your prosperity. They don't see that you're a bright light. They don't see that you're intelligent. All they see is, what can I get from you? What can I take from you? Hi, J.E., how are you doing? All some people see is, what can I get? What can I get from you? What can I take? What can I take? Hi, Edward. What can I get from this person? What can I take from them? How can I use you? But you're the one. Remember, we're mature adults. We're not just grown, we're mature. So that means we think, we meditate, and we dissect, and we remove ourselves from situations where we're not empowered, we're not growing, we're not at peace, where there's no joy, where there is no respect. Yeah, most definitely. Hey Blaze, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. Um, but that's one thing that I have to say for sure, everybody. I had to learn to trust in me. And I have to say, my entire life, I was trusting in my parents and siblings and relatives and friends and who you're in a relationship with and your job. But what about me? And the same thing I say to you guys too. What about you? What are you doing for yourself so that you can be happy? I had to learn to trust that, because as we get older, you may not be able to do what you used to do years ago. I had to believe that I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have peace. And going to therapy was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. I even still I cry about it all the time. And it doesn't mean that I'm weak. It means that I'm vulnerable. I believe in myself. I'm confident. And I don't care what other people have to say. This is my life. This is my life. Just like this is your life. And it's like, when am I going to stop living for other people and start living for me? See, we are the only ones that can give ourselves the permission. You got to give yourself the go ahead. You have to give yourself the validation. You have to say it's time, and then go and do it. Go and do it. Okay? I'm just a messenger. That's all. James is in here. Did I miss James? I don't see him. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes. Blaze says another 24 above ground. So it's all good. Hope everything is going well with you. Everything is well. Thank you so much, everybody. But I honestly wanted to say, oh, Edward is Jensen. Okay. Y'all be messing me up. Y'all be messing me up. Okay. So I just wanted to say to everybody, I hope that you are taking care of yourself and you're trusting how you feel. That was something that took me a very long time to trust in how I feel. Because sometimes we don't feel good, you know, but you're not going to the doctor. Please, somebody, if you feel something is not right, please go and check with your doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm just sharing that there was a lot of things that I had going on with me and my health, but we get scared sometimes. We're scared, you're fearful, you think you're not going to be helped, but what they said, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of a cure. I want you guys to be your healthiest, your happiest. Oh, you don't have to be sorry about anything. I just got mixed up. That's all serious. But everything that I'm talking about today is just to help to support you all. My gems, my loves, you know. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys matter so much to me. And I always think about what can I talk to my gems about today? How can I empower your minds? I really do think about that on my off time. And I wanted to say to you all, make sure you are taking care of yourself. Trust in that. So, as a wrap up, I think we got like 5 more minutes, 5 minutes or so, right? So, in these 5 minutes, I want to talk to you guys about the five things that we absolutely should be trusting in. Number one, you should be trusting in your energy, you know. And if your energy is low, it's probably because you have not been balanced. You've been doing all of this for friends, family, your job, even a pet, romantic relationship, and where do you stand? You got to trust in your energy. If you have not been pouring into yourself, putting on your own oxygen mask, now is the time. Okay? And that's the first one. The next one, you have to trust that you're blessed. Every single one of you, and myself. When you know that you're blessed, it's not that you don't feel you have problems, but you know that you can depend on your faith because you're blessed. Okay? Like, don't doubt that. Remind yourself, I'm blessed. I know that I'm covered. I know that I'm protected. But with all of that, we can't just say we're blessed and we're not treating ourselves good. And we keep letting people use us and disrespect us and backstab us. Kindness does have a limit. That's another thing that we have to learn to trust in. Kindness has its limits. And love yourself enough to say, it's time for me to close this door. This person is toxic or crazy, manipulative, a user. So you just leave those people alone and you have to let them be. And that's another thing. Trust in what you see and not just the words. Trust in what you see. Trust in the actions of people. And I think that that is so important. And that used to be me. Like, I used to always pretend and say things like, oh, but that's my brother. That's my sister. That's my cousin. That's my friend. And that's your husband. That's your wife. That's my boyfriend. That's my girlfriend, right? Like, they can't do anything good. I mean, like, they can't do anything bad. They do. A lot of people in our lives that talk about they love us really drain us and take from us, and you just keep taking it, and taking it, and you don't say no, and you don't cut them off. And why are you allowing them to be in your life? And this is another thing, you have to trust the people who keep asking you questions. Why are they asking you these questions? they want to be nosy. They want to ride on the coattails of your success. Yes, Marlene said it. There's a lot of people, because you do the right thing, they want to get the fringe benefits. Because you pay your bills on time, they want to use your credit. Can you co-sign a loan for me? Can you do this? Because you get up and you go to a job, they know that you work and you have money on a regular basis, so they want to come and say, can you give me a loan? Can you help me out? Can I borrow? Don't fall for that. Can I borrow 20, 50, 100, $300? Can I borrow it? But they haven't given you back what they took from you the last 17 million times. Yeah, I said 17 million because it's about that much times that we get scammed. Yeah. See, a lot of people who are toxic and negative don't want us to trust in the energy. They want us to walk around with rose-colored glasses. Hey, realist, how are you doing? It's so much people who don't want us um to see who they are. They want for us to have this facade. Oh, and feel sorry for them. You know, they want for us to fall for the pity party and feel sorry for them. They're the victim. Everybody's against them when they are the ones that make wrong decisions. They have a bad attitude. They have the wrong behavior, but we keep excusing their behavior. You keep giving them money, feeling that you're helping them. No, you're hurting them. The more that you keep allowing toxicity, drama, negativity, people lying to you, not showing up for you, they aren't they aren't a help to you. Actually, all these people in your life, they only bring you pain, aggravation, stress, raise your blood pressure, affect your mental health, and take all of your money. Ooh, on today, that's a message. There are so many people that that's all they come in your life to do. Know your business, take your money, break you down, make fun of you, backstab you, and you're never supposed to say anything. Trust what you see. And if you see a manipulative person, a narcissist, a controlling person, listen, trust that. Okay? Trust that. Okay? Blaze says, serious. That is really something I need to work on. I don't know how to rest, but I'll definitely try to take your advice as best as I can. Yes. I've been handicapping people, and it caused them to rely on me solely for the purpose of monetary gain. I quickly changed that. And that is the thing, serious. And I'm so glad that you're a woman enough to say it. There's a lot of people that run from it, that lie. Oh no, I'm not enabling. Yes, you are. Yep, we enable people and then we disable them. You're the only one that does everything. Cook and clean and do this for them and do that for them and give them money. So why would they put forth the effort? They already know you're going to do it. You got to think about that. You got to think about the way you move. You got to think about how you treat other people. You know, we are handicapping people and thinking that we're helping them. That's a disguise. Stop handicapping people. Stop enabling them and say no. Cut them off. Block them. They're going to have to get up and do it for themselves. That's all it is, period. Okay? Um, Realist says, these folks ain't worth the stress. They're not. So we are the ones that have to cut them off. You know? Honestly, at the end of the day, we have to learn to cut people off. And that was a whole thing for me. So difficult. It was so difficult for me to learn that I can't make people happy. I had to learn to trust that. I can't make you happy. I had to trust that it's not my problem that you don't make good financial decisions. I had to trust that. That's not my problem to fix it. It's not my problem to make people happy. It's not your problem that people are mentally ill. That's not your problem. There's a lot of people who are undiagnosed with mental illness. They need help. They need medicine. And I'm not saying it to make fun of anybody, it's the truth. A lot of people need medication. A lot of people need a therapist. A lot of people need to grow up. But it's not our job to fix. And going to therapy for so many years, it taught me that I am not responsible. I am not responsible for being your savior. I'm not the one that has to have a safety net. I'm not the one that has to. I'm not doing any more Build-A-Bears. It's not your responsibility to be people's projects. And oh, I gotta fix them. I have to make them better. I have to make them happy. No. All the while you're trying to make people happy, you're trying to make people grow up. They're not gonna do it anyways. So you got yourself stressed up, stressed out, blood pressure high. You feel disrespected, lost, upset, your money is gone. Like, what are we doing, everybody? What are we doing? That's what my therapist had to say. Girl, she really had to shake me up. Like, what are you doing? So I'm saying the same thing to you guys, too. What are you doing? We got to wake up. Mm-hmm. Of course, they're never going to leave. Say, well, they're always around. Of course. Anybody, it's just like a cat. You give them food, they're going to keep coming back because they know who's feeding them. And the same thing for other people. If you're always doing things for them, why would they put forth the effort? Why would they grow up? Huh? And when I really thought about that, I was like, oh, okay. So you honestly, you become their pusher. You become, you know, you're the one that they have to keep coming back to you because you keep opening the door, and you could complain and fuss all you want to. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but you do it anyways. Because I used to be me. Oh, now they're always calling. Oh, what do they want now? But then you still answer it, and you say, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Oh, and you know that that's going to hurt you financially. You know that's going to stress you out. You know you don't want to do it. So stop. Mm-hmm. And that's what I had to learn. And I'm so much happier now that I have learned to trust myself. Don't do things that you don't want to do. Don't be around people who make you unhappy. Don't stay around places where you're not being empowered and supported and loved on. And, have they checked on you? Have they shown up for you? And if the answer is no, then why are you hanging around? Why? It's a very important question. Why? Siri says, I'm tired of being the gatekeeper and giving them unlimited access to myself. I've reclaimed my freedom and my money. That part, Sirius. I am doing the same right now, too. Blaze says, Sirius, you're not lying, but the last stretch of this year is going to be bonkers, and I'm on a mission. But you're right. I got to get some rest for real. Yes, we have to show up for ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves, and know that we are enough. I want you all to know that you are enough. You got to trust that. You know, my therapist really got real with me that if I wasn't taking care of myself, and this was almost 2 years ago, if I didn't stop, I would have been either in the hospital or 6 feet under the ground. And I don't want to see that happen to you guys. I don't want for us to get to the point of you have to get sick before you make a change, because you may never bounce back and be like you are right now. So it's time for us to make changes in our mindset, setting boundaries and enforcing them, showing up for ourselves, taking care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually so we can be our best self. Trust that. Why? Because we love ourselves. Because you love yourself. Because I love myself, and I am only responsible for me. I'm responsible for my happiness and my peace. And I love that for me. And I love that for you guys too. Make sure you're showing up for you, taking care of you, and doing all of the things. Okay? Because you're worth it. Yeah, people will get mad when you cut them off, but they'll be okay. We train people how to treat us. And if you keep always being the one to give, why are they going to give to you? Some people are only around to take from you, to stress you out, to know your business. And we have to know the difference. Cut them off, okay? Trust that. Trust people's energy. Trust people's actions, okay? Trust how you feel. Trust your faith. Trust that you don't have to do everything alone, okay? But it takes work. So keep working on you. Put in the work. Love on yourself. I am Life with Marlene, your Florida vlogger, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's conversation. I hope it was beneficial for some, because I want for us to treat ourselves better, show up for ourselves better, and be our best self. You know what I say over here on Life with Marlene: love your life and live your life. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to my channel members. If you see somebody in blue, some of my content creators, go check out their content. Watch a video all the way to the end. Leave a comment. Yeah, that's how we do it over here. Sarah says, we sometimes try to fit in spaces where we really don't belong. We let ourselves be treated as if we're dispensable and we're not. Don't let people put you on a shelf until they're ready to come back. Don't let people ghost you and come back. You let them come back? No. Do not let them come back. Okay? Hi, Miss Lynn. I hope you're doing well. I'm just about to end, but thank you so much for coming in. I hope you check out the replay. You guys, be happy, be positive, be blessed, love yourself, show up for yourself, be confident, and know that you are enough. You are worthy, and you are capable every single day, but you have to put in the work. You have to show up for yourself. You can't wait for people to show up for you. You can't wait for people to treat you right. Trust what people say. Trust what people do. Trust their energy. And trust in yourself. Believe in you. And rely on your faith. You don't have to do this alone. We all need support. Blessings to everybody. And I'll see you guys on the next one.